Forget no contact. What truly hurts more than silence? You've been told the best way to win is to stop calling, stop texting, to vanish. They call this no contact. I'm here to tell you it's a trap. The Stoics saw it for what it is, an illusion of control. Anyone can ignore a silent phone. No one can ignore a person who has fundamentally transformed. Marcus Aurelius said the best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. We miss the point. Victory isn't them feeling your absence. It's them looking for the person they hurt and finding a stranger, someone calm, capable, and completely indifferent to their approval. That unrecognizable person is your creation. So forget just going quiet. There is something that cuts infinitely deeper than any silent treatment. It is the quiet shock, the sting of irrelevance they feel witnessing you rise, entirely beyond the reach of their opinion or their past power over you. This is what the Stoics mastered, turning pain into an unshakable foundation. Stay with me. I will show you how to build that inner fortress, brick by practical brick. If you're ready to trade a weak waiting game for true operational strength, you are in the right place. Please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this to help others find this path. 1. Silence is a tactic, not a strategy. Think of it this way. A tactic is a single move, like a chess player moving a pawn. It's a reaction to an immediate threat. A strategy is the entire game plan. It's why you move the pieces and where you're trying to go. No contact is purely a tactic. It's the single move of withdrawing your communication. It's reactive. You are reacting to their hurtful behavior by removing yourself. But what is the overarching plan? What are you building towards? This is where no contact falls apart. It provides no positive vision, only an absence. It tells you what not to do. Don't call, don't text, but it is silent on what you should do instead. It leaves a vacuum, and in that vacuum, old habits of thought, pain, and obsession rush right back in. You might be physically silent, but your mind is louder than ever, screaming with questions and scenarios. You have not disarmed your enemy, you have simply given them free rent in your head. Stoicism shifts the focus from tactics to strategy. The Stoic strategy is the lifelong project of building character, or what Marcus Aurelius called your inner citadel. Your strategy is not about managing another person's behavior for a week or a month. It is about fortifying your own judgment and peace permanently. Every action you take, whether it's choosing to learn a new skill, practicing patience in traffic, or showing kindness when you're frustrated, is a strategic move that strengthens your position. It is active construction. Silence, when used within this strategy, becomes a natural byproduct of your focus, not the entirety of your plan. It's the quiet of a sculptor absorbed in their work, not the sullen quiet of a child giving someone the cold shoulder. One builds a masterpiece, the other just waits for an apology. 2. You're waiting, they're living. This is the cruel, hidden cost of the no-contact game. It operates on a delay. You enact your silence and then you wait for the payoff. You are waiting for the moment they realize what they've lost. You are waiting for the guilt to hit them, for the regret to set in, for the phone to finally ring with the apology you've scripted in your mind. This waiting period is not neutral. It is a state of suspended animation for you. Your emotional life is put on hold, contingent on an event you cannot control. While you're in this holding pattern, checking your phone, analyzing old messages, rehearsing what you'll say, their life is moving forward. They're making coffee, going to work, laughing with friends, living a life utterly unconcerned with the silent treatment you are meticulously administering. This imbalance is the source of immense suffering. You have made yourself a prisoner in a cell they don't even know exists. Seneca saw this clearly. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Your suffering in this scenario is almost entirely imagined. You are suffering the fantasy of their future remorse. You are suffering the story you tell yourself about your powerful silence while feeling utterly powerless inside. This is why it's a trap. It feels like action, but it is a form of profound passivity. You have surrendered your agency to the hope of their reaction. True agency, as the Stoics taught, is taking back your time and attention right now, regardless of what they are or aren't doing. Your life is happening in this very moment. The question is whether you are living it or just waiting for someone else to give you permission to start. 3. Your mind is the real battlefield. The concept of no contact focuses all your energy on an external physical rule: don't reach out. But the real conflict was never out there. It's in here, in the theater of your own mind. This is where the ghost of the relationship lives on long after the last message was sent. You can block a number, but you can't as easily block a memory, a wondering, a painful what if. While you're technically silent, your mind is louder than ever, replaying arguments, imagining confrontations, and scripting dialogues that will never happen. This is why Marcus Aurelius dedicated so much of his writing to the governance of one's own thoughts. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." No contact mistakenly tries to control an outside event, another person's reaction. It fails because that was never your domain. Your domain, your absolute sovereignty, is your internal judgment and the narratives you choose to believe. Every time you ruminate, you are surrendering that sovereignty. You are allowing an uninvited guest to direct your mental energy. The Stoic shift is profound. Instead of pouring all your willpower into the single tactic of not texting, you redirect that willpower to the strategic work of reclaiming your mental space. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about authoritative thinking. It means when the thought of them arises, you don't fight it or feed it. You observe it. You label it. Ah, there's the memory of that hurt. And you consciously decide not to follow it down the familiar, painful path. You gently but firmly return your focus to a task, a page in a book, your own breath. This is the real work, the minute-by-minute practice of being the calm commander of your own attention. Winning this internal battle makes any external rule about contact almost irrelevant. Your peace is no longer dependent on their silence, but on your mastery of your mind. 4. Build an inner fortress, not an outer wall. Think of no contact as building a tall, thin wall around one specific person. You put all your effort into this single barrier, hoping it will keep their influence out. But life isn't a siege from one direction. Stress from work, criticism from a friend, a personal failure, these are other storms that hit from different angles. Your flimsy, thin wall does nothing against them. You remain exposed and vulnerable to the chaos of the world. Now imagine instead that you are an architect. Your project is not a wall, but a full, central fortress, your inner citadel, as Marcus Aurelius called it. This fortress has a deep foundation, your core non-negotiable values. What do you stand for? Is it integrity, resilience, compassion? This foundation is unshakable. The walls are constructed from your daily disciplines and habits, your morning routine, your commitment to learning, your practice of pausing before reacting. These are the stones. The roof is your trained judgment, your ability to see events not as catastrophes but as neutral occurrences to be met with character. This is protecting you from everything, not just one person. When a storm of rejection hits, you retreat inside. You are safe not because you hid from the storm, but because you built a structure that can withstand it. The person you're practicing no contact with becomes just another gust of wind against stone walls. Your energy shifts from defensive panic, constantly checking if the wall is holding, to calm, confident construction. You stop worrying about what's trying to get in and focus on strengthening what's within. This is the work that lasts. If you're committed to being your own architect, let me know by typing "fortress" below. And please share this with someone who needs to start building.
5. Indifference is louder than silence. When you give someone the silent treatment, you are still speaking. Your silence is a message. It's loaded with anger, hurt, and the expectation of a response. It's a form of engagement, a dialogue where your part is just unspoken. You are still in the game, playing by the old rules, just refusing to take your turn. This is why it often fails. They can feel the tension in your silence, the unspoken plea for them to notice, and they can choose to ignore that too. Your power move becomes another thing for them to dismiss. True power isn't found in loud silence, it's found in quiet indifference. This is not the cold, performative kind you have to fake. It's the genuine, effortless kind that comes from being so absorbed in your own meaningful life that their presence or absence simply doesn't register on your emotional scale. You aren't sending a message. There is no message to send because they have ceased to be a relevant factor in your peace. This is what the Stoics called apatheia. Not apathy in the modern sense of not caring about anything, but a state of being free from destructive, chaotic passions about things you cannot control. When you achieve this, your growth itself becomes the statement. It's a mirror held up to their past behavior. They don't see someone punishing them with silence. They see someone who has become so fundamentally different that the old dynamics no longer apply. This is infinitely more disarming. Anger can be met with anger. Pleading can be met with pity. But calm, steady indifference and self-contained progress offer nothing to push against. It communicates one clear fact: you have been demoted from a source of my pain to a footnote in my history. That realization, when it dawns on them, carries a finality that 1,000 unread texts never could.
6. Pain is fuel, not a life sentence. The aftermath of hurt leaves you with a specific kind of energy. It's raw, hot, and chaotic. It's the energy of anger, of sadness, of injustice. The no-contact approach tells you to bury this energy, to suppress it, to try and let time smother it. But energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Suppressed, it turns inward and becomes depression, anxiety, or a bitterness that poisons your future. Stoicism offers a more courageous and useful path: alchemy. It asks you to take that raw, painful energy and transmute it. See your pain not as a verdict on your life, I am broken, but as the intense heat required to forge a stronger version of yourself. Seneca, who faced exile and immense personal betrayal, wrote, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests the strong." The pain is the fire. Your character is the gold. The process is not comfortable, but it is purposeful. This is practical work. That knot of anger in your chest is physical energy. Redirect it into a punishing workout. The heavy weight of sadness can add depth and empathy to a creative project. Write, paint, build. The sense of injustice can be forged into the steel of new, non-negotiable personal boundaries. You are not passively waiting for the pain to subside so you can start living again. You are actively using its very presence as the catalyst for your reconstruction. Every time you feel the ache, you can now say, "This is the cost of the old life, and this is the fuel for the new one." In doing so, you reclaim the narrative. The person who hurt you inadvertently handed you the most potent motivation you will ever have, the fierce, burning drive to become someone they could never have imagined and can never again reach. 7. Your daily actions are your revenge. We often imagine revenge as a dramatic moment, a confrontation, a grand success thrown in someone's face, a final word that leaves them shattered. This fantasy keeps us stuck, waiting for a perfect cinematic moment of vindication that rarely comes. Marcus Aurelius offered a far more profound and practical definition. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Notice he doesn't say the best revenge is to make them suffer. He says the best revenge is to refuse to become what hurt you, petty, reactive, and defined by the injury. This reframes revenge from a future event you hope for into a daily practice you control. Your revenge is not their regret. It is your integrity, built one choice at a time. It's the quiet moment where you choose patience instead of lashing out, even when you're alone. It's the discipline of going to the gym when you'd rather stay in bed and ruminate. It's the act of finishing a project, honoring a promise to yourself, or simply treating others with a kindness you did not receive.
These actions are your bricks. Each of these small, honorable victories builds a life of such substance that the past and the person who inhabits it simply cannot compete. You are no longer in a race with them. You have moved to a different track entirely, building a legacy of character. This kind of revenge is permanent and unassailable. They cannot apologize it away or undo it because it was never about them. It was about who you decided to become in the aftermath. Your life, well lived, becomes the ultimate rebuttal to their poor treatment. Are you choosing these small daily acts of integrity? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more guidance that focuses on building, not just breaking away. 8. Let them witness your unrecognizable life. The goal of most post-breakup strategies is to make the other person feel something: loss, jealousy, regret. This goal keeps you tethered to their emotional state, which you cannot control. The Stoic goal is different and far more liberating: to become so fundamentally changed that their feelings become irrelevant data. You're not aiming for them to miss the old you. You're engineering a situation where the old you no longer exists for them to miss. This happens through focused inward construction. The person they knew was partly a reflection of that relationship, its needs, its conflicts, its compromises. That person was, in a sense, co-created. The person you are becoming is built solely on your own values, discoveries, and hard-won strengths. You are shedding a skin they helped shape and growing a new one that is entirely your own. When they eventually witness you, whether in passing or through the faint echoes of social circles, they will not see the person they hurt. They will encounter a stranger who bears a familiar face. This stranger is calm where there was anxiety, grounded where there was neediness, and quietly content where there was longing. This is deeply unnerving. It proves their narrative about you and the power they held is obsolete. It forces a silent and humbling question upon them. Was I ever the cause, or was I just an event that triggered this evolution? Your transformation becomes a fact they must contend with, while you, having already completed the work, are simply living your truth. This silent and undeniable evidence of your wholeness without them is the final and most complete form of closure. 9. Your peace is non-negotiable. In most relationships, especially painful ones, we treat our inner peace like a bargaining chip. We unconsciously make deals. I'll be peaceful once they apologize, or I can relax when I know they regret it. This places the ownership of your most precious internal state in the hands of someone who has already proven themselves untrustworthy. It's the ultimate self-betrayal. Stoicism dismantles this faulty logic. It argues that your peace is not an external condition to be achieved, it is an internal achievement to be built. It is the product of your judgments and choices, period. Marcus Aurelius, amidst the chaos of ruling an empire, constantly returned to this bedrock principle. His peace was not dependent on loyal senators or peaceful borders on any given day. It was dependent on his commitment to his own virtue and reason in that moment. He wrote to himself as a reminder, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the non-negotiable pact you make with yourself. No external event, a harsh word, a rejection, a betrayal, has permission to evict you from your own peace. You grant it that power, or you don't. Making your peace non-negotiable looks like daily, deliberate practice. It's the conscious refusal to rent mental space to yesterday's argument. It's the disciplined pause before reacting to a trigger, where you ask, "Will surrendering my calm serve me?" It is the understanding that an apology, while it might be just, is a bonus, not the price of admission for your serenity. Your peace becomes a fortified city you live within. People may shout outside the walls, but you are no longer obligated to open the gate and engage with every noise. This is true sovereignty. When your peace is no longer for sale, no one can ever afford to disrupt it. 10. The only contact that matters is with yourself. We spend so much energy managing contact with others, initiating it, maintaining it, and in the case of no contact, severing it.
We obsess over the quality, frequency, and tone of these external connections, believing they are the source of our validation, worth, and love. This is putting the cart before the horse. Stoicism turns the focus inward to the most critical relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. Before you can healthily connect with anyone else, you must first establish clear, honest, and sovereign contact within. This inner contact is not about self-affirmation or empty praise. It is a sober, ongoing dialogue of accountability and self-respect. It is asking yourself hard questions. Did my actions today align with my values? Am I running from a necessary truth? Am I honoring my own needs and boundaries? It is the practice of being the person you can rely on, to tell yourself the truth, to follow through on your promises to yourself, to offer yourself compassion without excuse. This is what Seneca meant when he spoke of retreating into oneself and finding a trustworthy friend within. When this inner contact is strong and clear, every external relationship transforms. They are no longer lifelines you cling to out of need. They become choices you make from a place of wholeness. Love becomes an addition to your already complete life, not a requirement to feel complete. No contact with another person becomes irrelevant because you are in full, unwavering contact with your own purpose, integrity, and worth. You realize you were never starving for their attention. You were thirsty for your own self-approval. Once you drink deeply from that well, you are forever free.